All of my clients used to stuff themselves with food, thinking they were eating a lot. But every time they stepped on a scale, the number never changed. Week after week, stuck at the same weight. They'd blame their metabolism, their genetics. Some even believed they were just meant to be skinny. But here's the truth. None of that is the real problem. And if you're eating more and you're still not gaining weight, you're probably making this exact same mistake. My name's Matteo. I've gained 17 plus kgs of muscle naturally. No living in the gym, no mass gainers, no relying on unsustainable diets. And I now specialize in helping skinny guys and hard gainers transform and build a body they are truly proud of and confident in. My promise to you is that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why your weight has not been going up, what's really keeping you stuck, and also how to fix it step by step. So feel free to take some notes. This is going to be value packed, and this will give you the keys that you've been missing to transform. What I'm going to do right now is show you the 4 phases of why you might be stuck and what to do instead. So you might be right now at a point where you're eating a lot. You tell yourself you have a fast metabolism because you just can't gain any weight. You tell yourself maybe it's just your genetics, and because you've always been small, you think that is just how things are meant to be. That is not the case. So diving deeper into the first pillar, why you're stuck. Why eating more still isn't working. Eating more is very subjective. Somebody can tell you I'm eating a lot, I'm eating more than usual. That doesn't mean anything. No sorts of facts, data, nothing. It is purely subjective. Just to be clear, if you want to build muscle, if you want to gain weight, if you want to gain size, you have to be in a calorie surplus. There is no going around this. No matter how much you think you're currently eating, if you're not in a consistent calorie surplus, over time, you will not gain weight, build size. So that is the first thing. You must understand this core principle, which is at the basis of every single thing. That being said, this is where most skinny guys confuse feeling full, eating a lot, having their stomach completely full, and being in a calorie surplus. These are 2 very, very separate things. It's the same as working 12 hours on your business and getting nothing done. You feel like you're working a lot, but you're not pushing the needle forward, or doing 2 to 3 hours of deep work, focus work, needle moving activities, which make the boat go faster. This is the same thing. Feeling full and being in a calorie surplus are 2 different things. Our goal is to be in a calorie surplus. This is super important to understand, the difference between food volume and food density. You can have a huge plate of, in this example, broccoli. 600 grams of broccoli is a lot of food. It's a lot of food volume, and it might lead you to being full. However, when we look at high calorie dense foods, which is food density, here we have the same amount of calories in both ingredients, but the size is different. So we have to understand what's in which foods to maximize foods which are high in calories, but low in volume. That way, gaining weight, getting the calories in will be 10 times easier. This is a hard truth, but you can eat 3 big meals, very big meals, big salads, lean steaks. That's on paper, like it looks like it's a lot of food, a lot of calories, but when we do the math, that can still be under your calorie goal to gain weight. That is why just eating more and randomly eating more food is not an optimal strategy. At this point, you might be like, damn, I do feel full on most days when I try to eat more, but you're still not eating enough. That's the first realization you need to get. It's not about feeling full. It's about getting enough calories on a daily basis consistently. That's going to allow you to grow. Awareness of this is the first step to being able to actually grow. Now we're going to move on to the real problem that we need to focus on solving. That's actually going to push the needle for you. This is what's required. And this is what a lot of skinny guys, hard gainers fall into, and this is why they can't grow. Skinny guys confuse effort and accuracy. This is why I'm eating more, I feel full, I eat a lot. That does not necessarily mean anything towards getting you to build 5, 10 kgs. We don't want to base ourselves on emotions, on subjectivity. If we want to grow predictably and consistently, we need to base ourselves on data. I've spoken to over 500 plus skinny guys, and they all tell me this, that they're trying to eat more, that they don't understand, and that is purely emotion. We want to remove emotion out of the picture, and we want to focus on structure and following data. That is what's going to allow you to grow. Because focusing on emotion does not mean you will be in a calorie surplus. I've been doing this for over 1 year full time, coaching skinny guys. This is what I find every single time. If you really care about your future and your personal transformation, I would take notes because this will show you exactly why you might be stuck. So, skipping meals or eating reactively. You focus on your day-to-day, you go to work, you completely forget to eat because you have no structure. Comes 2 p.m., you've only had a coffee, a small snack, and you're only at 300, 400 calories on that day. While if you want it to grow, you need 2,700, 2,800. You're putting yourself in a tough position to hit that calorie goal at the end of the day if you're skipping meals and you have no structure. The second point is linked to what we said before. You think you're eating a lot, but you're not tracking your calories. You're not taking 5 minutes to track to understand what's actually in what I'm eating. The goal is never to track calories for life, but is to have an understanding of what you're truly consuming, what's in which foods, to then make better decisions. If you don't know how many calories you're consuming, you'll never know if you're in a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit. If you want to get to your goal in the most predictable way, take 5 minutes to track your calories. Super simple. So this is a big one. Inconsistency when it comes to your routine. You can be in a surplus for 3 to 4 days out of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in a 300 calorie surplus. But if you're inconsistent on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you wake up late, you skip meals, you can essentially offset the deficit that you created at the beginning of the week. Being consistent throughout the whole week is what's needed to have results. But it's also the fact that one day you're having 1 big meal and 2 snacks, the other day you're having 4 meals, your structure, your eating habits are all over the place. This is a key one. If you wait till you're hungry and starving to eat, it's like the less you eat, the less you're gonna wanna eat. So instead of waiting to be starving to eat, have a couple fixed meals throughout the day. Something small, something that goes down. Your stomach will stretch over time, but you have to train it to get smaller meals into you. Also, when you're going to be training in a gym, pushing yourself, hitting PRs, that's going to increase your appetite because your body's going to be asking for fuel in order to be able to grow. So don't wait to be starving. This is one of the biggest mistakes. Guys wait to naturally be hungry. It's not going to happen. You need to be prepared, have smaller meals. That way you can get calories throughout the day without getting to 8 p.m. and having 2,000 plus calories to hit in one serving. Pretty typical, filling up on low calorie dense foods, broccoli, huge salads. These are great, they might be healthy, but it's like you can have this massive salad, this huge salad that will fill you up, that's 300 calories. Let's say you skip breakfast, you have this massive salad, 400 calories, you're at the end of the day and you've had 400, 500 calories, no wonder you're not gaining weight. If you're constantly drinking 0-calorie beverages, a bunch of water, that can also fill up your stomach. This is a smaller one, but can also play on your appetite. And for the last 3, eating healthy does not mean high calorie dense. You can eat as healthy as you want. You can eat lean chicken, lean steaks, salads, vegetables. That doesn't mean you're going to be building muscle and gaining weight. You need calorie density. You need more calories, not healthier foods. There's healthier foods that are higher in calories, but you have to focus on getting those in and not just thinking that just eating healthy will allow you to gain weight. And finally, this is one I see a lot. Guys think that eating more protein will just naturally lead them to grow. That is not the case. Protein is a very important macronutrient for recovery in order for you to come back stronger from your sessions to rebuild the muscle that you've been breaking down through training. You can still be in a calorie deficit, eat a bunch of protein, you're not going to be able to gain significant amount of size, even if you're having 200 grams of protein per day. You need the surplus. You also need the protein, but focus on the calorie surplus first. And finally, completely winging it, hoping that you'll magically hit the calorie surplus without any structural preparation. That is what a lot of guys think. Which brings me to, finally, the solution. We've understand why you might be stuck, the problem and the different mistakes that you might have been making that are preventing you from being in a surplus, gaining weight. Now we're going to get into the solution. If you actually want to grow, you have to treat this like an engineer. We're not emotionally eating. We're not waiting for hunger to appear. We're not skipping meals. We are engineers. If this is something important to you, if you want to build muscle, you want to build the body of your dreams, you have to engineer this process. Randomly hitting the gym, trying to eat more is not a strategy. So here's what creates predictable weight gain for skinny guys and what I would personally do and the process we follow with all of my clients to gain weight. So we track your calories in the first couple of weeks. The goal is not to track calories for life, but we want to have a deep understanding of how much you're actually consuming in terms of food. We're tracking your weekly weights, so we know what's working. We see that you're slowly but surely going up in terms of weight. You have a fixed target weight goal per week that you follow. If that's not going up, you increase the calories or decrease if you're going too fast. Instead of blindly hoping you're going to hit the surplus, you prepare yourself. 3 meals, 1 snack, high calorie dense foods in those meals. Organization, take 15 minutes to prepare these meals the night before. Take 5 minutes to prepare your breakfast in the morning, a high calorie dense breakfast. Preparation is what's going to allow you to grow, especially in the early stages. Follow a repeatable eating routine. Don't have 2 meals one day and like 6 the next. What you follow throughout the week needs to be in some way, shape, or form a similar structure that you follow on the weekend. Don't try to be super strict during the week and then let all of your habits go on the weekend. We need a base of structure and foundation that's going to allow for consistency over time. Create a couple fixed meals. Maybe that's a fixed breakfast, a 800 calorie breakfast, a couple eggs, some honey, a banana, and a Greek yogurt. Take 5 minutes to prepare that. Bang, you've got a fixed high calorie breakfast that takes you 5 minutes to make. You have all the ingredients at home and you can have that every single day because you enjoy it. Design 1 to 2 high calorie staple meals that you enjoy, and just 2 of these can easily get you up to 1,800, 2,000 plus, depending on which foods you're eating in those meals. Very powerful. And obviously, finally, you're an engineer, so you adjust your intake based on if your average is slowly going up. This is not rocket science. This is 100% possible for you. All of those limiting beliefs can be solved with preparation, structure, and following a proven plan. This is nothing crazy. Again, buddy, you're not broken. You just need structure, the accuracy, and the consistency, not randomly eating more and randomly putting in more effort. And finally, the game plan of what to do next. This isn't about eating more until you feel sick. This is about having a plan that you can follow that matches your goal that will allow you to grow over time. You're not the skinny guy. You're just a version of yourself that kept winging it and hoping for results until now. You'd be shocked how your body grows if you actually give it the consistency it's been wanting all along. Now, if you're done feeling stuck in a skinny body and you're ready to finally build muscle, gain weight, boost your self-confidence, feel 100% comfortable in your own skin, have clothes fit effortlessly on your frame, all of that without mass gainers, eating 6 times per day, and living in the gym, then, buddy, I invite you to watch the free training down below, which shows you the exact systems my clients and I use to predictably transform. And with that said, I'm wishing you a great day. Take care.